I don't know if you say the word right, Dean, is that what it's called? Does anyone think the DNC will now play fair after learning its election, or learning its lessons in 2016? Play fair. The answer is no, and I want to talk about that today because I want to talk about the personal experience and the experience of two other candidates here in the state of California, as we have been interacting with the California Democratic Party in connection with the forthcoming convention, which is a week from Friday. I'll tell you my story. It doesn't take that long. There is this thing in the bylaws of the California Democratic Party which says if an incumbent Democrat wants to run for the same office again, the incumbent Democrat gets an automatic endorsement of the party. I agree. The only loophole in that is if someone challenges the incumbent and collects 20% of the delegates in that district, and for statewide it means the state, and can challenge the automatic endorsement. So I went out to collect my signatures. A friend of mine is running for the Assembly against Assembly Speaker Rendon, another favorite. Went out and collected her signatures, and somebody running in Allison's race, Pat Harris, he got in by a certain minimum money donation. All three of us were turned down by the California Democratic Party. In my case, they sent me a list of eligible delegates on January 5th. I needed 37 signatures to challenge Ms. Pelosi's automatic endorsement. I turned in 41. They disqualified a bunch of them, but I still had 37. And then the party said this to me after the door had closed to submitting signatures. Oh, by the way, the list we sent you on January 5th, that wasn't the real list. We had a secret list that's larger, and we didn't tell you about it. If you missed by one, sorry, you're out of luck. That was my experience. There's more to this. My friend Maria Estrada, who was running against Rendon, she turned in her signatures. She turned them in at 11 o'clock on the day they were due. They actually weren't due until 5 p.m. that day. The moment she turned in her signatures, her petitions were delivered to Rendon's office. The moment she that's right. And Rendon's office, and ultimately Rendon himself, began calling the people who had signed the petitions, trying to get them to rescind their signatures. He was successful in two cases under question. We don't know what was said to them, whether they were bribed, threatened, or whatever, and they turned in rescissions the next day after the door had been closed. The California Democratic Party ruled a few days ago, too bad, Ms. Estrada, you're off, no challenge. That's the second one. The third one has to do with Pat Harris, who's in Allison's race, and he has a few bucks around. He self-funded $250,000, then raised another 30. So when they said, how much have you raised? You need $250 to get on the ballot. He said, I've raised $280, and the California Democratic Party said to him, sorry you haven't, we're not going to count self-funding. We're not going to count self-funding, even though there were other candidates who had also self-funded that they did not disqualify. What's the message I'm sending you? This organization is called Our Revolution. Two words, our, us. And revolution, the revolution is still going, folks. Because here in California, this is the party that we are dealing with if you're participating in the Democratic Party. So what I want to ask you today is if you are a member of the Democratic Party, if you are a member, send an email or make a phone call to the Democratic Party headquarters and just say, please, I don't care for the way you are dealing with the pre-endorsement process. You are cheating legitimate candidates. It is not a coincidence that the three people whose candidacies were being challenged are themselves iconic incarnations of the establishment. Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, and the Speaker of the Assembly. And the party is protecting its incumbents. So that is my speech tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Susanna Williams, I'm a delegate to the CDP. I'm pretty aware of all of this. I have a question for you as an attorney. So this is...
Let me change hats here.
Yeah, exactly. This is with regards to what happened. Suzanne! Maria Estrada. Okay, so this was concerning Maria Estrada's challenge. So from what I understand, her challenge went to appeals committee, which Gary Shea heads up as kind of chair of the rules committee. He admitted in writing that what happened was wrong and it was something that needed to be addressed and changed. However, he still ruled in favor of. Yeah, so what is our recourse? Because seriously, this is not setting well with a huge percentage of the delegates. I'm pissed off about it and I want to do something.
That hearing was also heard my matter and also heard Pat Harris's matter, and I listened to it. They would not allow us to attend or speak. We were allowed to listen. Yes, in all three of the cases, they said, this is wrong, we have to fix it, but not this year. That's the same thing they said, that is the same thing they said when Kimberly Ellis challenged Eric Bauman. This is wrong, they have to fix it, but not this year, Mr. Bauman, you're in.
I think this is something worth taking a line in his hands and doing something. Can we sue him? This is
you want me to wear my lawyer hat or my candidate hat? The lawyer hat, to be honest with you, is me. There are some very complicated legal issues on this as to what exactly the Democratic Party is. Courts have jurisdiction over it, and how much due process are we entitled? Do we have a right to be a candidate? Do we have a right to do this? Those are very complicated.
It's a big party and we ain't invited. Yeah, but we're half that party now.
I would just tell you that that is a subject matter under intense research and scrutiny as we speak right now.
Paralegal, if I can help you, tell me.
Stephen, since you're here, I want you to tell everyone why our Revolution Contra Costa endorsed you.
Why did you endorse me? Well, that's a good question. I think it's because, I like to think it's because I'm the real deal. I'm the real deal.